Let us start the place of provision of service rules 2012. Why these rules are important? Because the place where service is performed is very important. If the service tax is not applicable at that place, service tax will not be payable. So we have to study the place of provision of service 2012 rules. Section 66C of the Finance Acts, the place of service shall be determined by the rules made in this regard by the central government. So central government has framed the place of provision of service rules 2012. We can call it a POS rules. Notification number 28 2012 and dated 20th June 2012. Now there are total number of rules are 14 in these rules. So first we will start with the rule number 1. These rules came into effect from 1st of July 2012 and the name will be place of provision of service rules 2012. Rule number 2 gives some important definitions. So important definitions, we are going to cover two important definitions. There is location of service provider and the location of service receiver. It does not mean it's a place of service. We are just discussing the location of service provider and location of service receiver. Means where these are located. These things will be clarified in these two definitions. First, we will cover the location of service provider. Let's see how this has been defined in the rules. If the service provider has obtained a single registration, एक ही registration ले रखा है उसने under the Service Tax Act provisions, then place of service as far as service provider is concerned will be the premises so registered. If clause A does not apply, it means उसने सिंगल रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं लिया है, मल्टीपल रजिस्ट्रेशन ले रखे, or he has not taken a registration at all, then in this case you have to apply sub rules 1, 2, 3, 4 one by one. First we will see the sub rule 1. Place of business establishment will be treated as the location of service provider from where the service was provided. So if he has provided a service from a business establishment, then वो business establishment को हम location of service provider मान लेंगे. For example, suppose this is the place, this is a business establishment, and in this business establishment he has provided a service. तो इसको हम location मान, this is not a place of service, this is the location of service provider. Place of fixed establishment, from where the service was provided. If service provided from a place other than the business establishment, that is a fixed establishment elsewhere. Suppose ये इसका एक business establishment है. बिजनेस एस्टेब्लिशमेंट के अलावा इसका एक और फिक्स प्रीमाइसेस है वेयर ही हैज, इट इज अ फिक्स्ड एस्टेब्लिशमेंट वेयर ही हैज रेंडर्ड द सर्विसेज. So in this case the location of service provider will be this fixed establishment. A place of establishment most directly concerned with the provision of service. If service was provided from more than one establishment, business establishment or fixed establishment. अब इसी एग्जांपल में देख लेते हैं. सपोज यहाँ भी 70% सर्विस यहाँ प्रोवाइड की है और 30% सर्विस प्रोवाइडर ने यहाँ प्रोवाइड की है. इन दिस केस द मोस्ट डायरेक्टली कंसर्न जो भी सर्विस प्लेस है वो business establishment हो या fixed establishment है which is more directly concerned, then this will be treated as location of service provider. Usual place of residence, in absence of such place mentioned above, it will be the usual place of residence. Suppose this person reside here, then if other things are not available, then usual place of residence will be called as location of service provider. After this, we will see the next definition, that is location of service receiver. Location of service receiver, this definition is just similar to location of service provider. Again, service receiver has obtained single registration, then the place of service will be the premises so registered. But if clause A does not apply, it means he is having a multiple registration or no registration at all. The place of business establishment where service was used, place of fixed establishment where service was used if service was used as a place other than business establishment, place of establishment most directly concerned with the provision of service. If the service was used by more than one establishment, business establishment or fixed establishment, then the whichever is more directly concerned. And the usual place of residence, if any of the above three is not applicable, then usual place of residence will be treated as location of service receiver. What is the usual place of residence? In case of body corporate like company, the place of incorporation will be treated as usual place of its residence. Suppose a company is registered, having a registered office at Bombay, then wherever its service provide the usual place of residence, it will be treated as Bombay. Telecom services billing address. So wherever is the billing address will be treated as the place of residence in case of telecom services.